I didn't succeed like you did, Ryuk. Want the notebook back? I'll take it. But you better have something else for me to do. I remember. Yum. Apples. So good. I need more. More apples. I could use this notebook to get some human to feed me again. I'll need a real capable one like Light Yagami if I want to eat well for as long as possible. And it'll be more entertaining that way. It's been 2 years, Ryuk. I came up out of the floor just like I promised. A Shinigami who keeps his word. Of course you are. You have to keep your word, whether human or death god. I wouldn't work with you otherwise. Exactly. Minoru Tanaka top score once again? Very impressive. 3 years running? He could be the smartest middle school student in all of Japan. But why this? Is it an issue of motivation? He's not putting any actual effort into his grades. English, 28 points. I'm so stupid. I wish I could hit my head on the corner of a block of tofu and die. Ow! Ah! What was that? This is yours now. Ugh. Ah! Ah! I hear you're pretty smart. What? But your teachers at school said you got first place 3 years running. That you're the smartest middle school schooler in Japan. No, wait. First place in tests 3 years running? 3 years running tests? I think you might be talking about an intelligence test. It's like some test of subconscious ability or something. But they don't tell us the results. Man, I really hate that school. Even if I get good scores on that test, all it means is that I watch a lot of shows about IQ diagnostics and brain age, and that I waste all my time playing IQ test apps on my phone. The people who are actually smart are solving problems that pertain to the future. Any teacher who says scoring high on an IQ test makes you smart is an idiot. So, you are an idiot. I'm a terrible student, but I don't think I'm so idiotic that I'd qualify as an idiot. I guess I'd say I'm good at riddles and quizzes and stuff like that. Could you... Maybe someone like that is exactly suited for this. Suited? For what? And what are you anyway? You're really freaky. We shouldn't just stand around talking, though. Let's go to your house. No way! And I can't get up right now. That's alright, you're the only one who can see me. No way. That's way too convenient. I'm serious. But my room is messy. What? This was Kira's? Hey, you're shouting. People can't hear my voice, but they can still hear yours. No way. You mean the Kira? The Kira who eliminated war and greatly reduced crime rates? For being so young, you seem to know a lot about him. Everyone does. He was in my ethics textbook in elementary school, and we studied him world history in middle school. Wow, really? They treat him like one of the greats, huh? No, in ethics they taught us that Kira was evil. And in world history, he was described as a mass-murdering terrorist, the worst in recent history. But there are also lots of people who say that Kira was good, and a god. Oh yeah, I get, huh? But how does a notebook like this make you a god? The instructions are on the first page. Just read the thing. Why is it in English? I don't know English. Translate it. Seriously? Death Note. How to use it. The human whose name is written in this note shall die. This note will not take effect unless the writer has the person's face in their mind when writing his or her name. Therefore, people sharing the same name will not be affected. If the cause of death is written within 40 seconds of writing the person's name, it will happen. If the cause of death is not specified, the person will simply die of a heart attack. After writing the cause of death, details of the death note should be written in the next 6 minutes and 40 seconds. I can't believe all of this, but I guess this explains how he did it. The police and Elle were trying to arrest Kita, right? Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. Ryuk, can you tell me more about what Kira did? I'd like to eat an apple first. You happen to be very lucky. My mom's on an apple diet, and I always have one a day. Oh, I can't share personal details, but I'll tell you everything I remember. You can't be serious. That's wild. So Kita actually made use of the rules about the note's possession and the fact that touching the Death Note makes people see you all to his own advantage? He must have been really smart. Yeah, his test scores were #1 in the nation. But if you tried to do the same thing, you'd get caught. Huh? That was 10 years ago, a different era in the human world. There's a security camera on every street corner now, and in every train car. Cars and buses have dash cams. Yeah, I guess you couldn't kill the FBI agents the same way. They're more sophisticated at investigating cyber crimes. So if Kita tried to get his message out online, they'd track him down right away. And the police have tabs on all cell phone calls. Untraceable messages online only happen when TV shows and movies need to write it that way to make things dramatic. But I'm sure Kita would have come up with a way to do it that still works at this day and age. And you can do that, Minoru. Huh? The Shinigami wants me to do the same thing that Kita did. You're kidding me. No way I can use this deadly notebook. If I give someone else the notebook or return it to Ryuk, I'll lose ownership and my memories of it can forget about everything. Kira gave it back to Ryuk once too. But if I give it back to Ryuk, he will just give it to someone else instead. A notebook that could only be used to kill people. What's the right answer? You haven't said anything for hours. What's up? I'm the kind of person who thinks and thinks until he reaches his own answer. No wonder you're the quiz king. There are 2 questions I have, Ryuk. Oh yeah? First, are there other humans besides me who can see you? Yeah. I should be visible to the people who touched the notebook when I brought it to the human world in the past. You're sure? I think so. For people who possess the note but then lost possession, I won't be visible anymore. But those who just touched the book should be able to see me. One other question. The human owner of the Death Note must be possessed by a Shinigami. How far away can you actually get from the owner? That's a tricky question. It's not a firm rule, but it probably works as long as I know where you are. Or wait, I would know even from the Shinigami world, so I guess not. Can you be more specific? My point is, there's no set distance. Then come up with a number. Okay. So, by the measurements of the human world, 14 kilometers. Yeah, that's close enough to identify humans and to reach you at a moment's notice. The rule wasn't clear before, so there's nothing wrong with me setting it now. Okay, I've decided. I'm going to return the Death Note now. Come back in 2 years. In 2 years, I'll use the Death Note book. And I can promise you apples every day. I have to be in apple withdrawal for 2 years. If you can't wait that long, give the notebook to someone else. Alright, fine. I'll wait. In that case, I abandon my ownership of the notebook and return it to you, Ryuk. That's how it went. Yeah, I went without apples for 2 years. Yep, I can go with the plan I thought of 2 years ago. Plan? Yes, just as I planned, I'm going to sell the Death Note. Sell? I'm going to put it up for an auction online. That sounds fun, but you were the one who said 2 years ago everything on the net could be tracked. I'm not going to use the net. That's why I asked you how far away you could be from me. It was 14 kilometers, you said. Well, Sakura TV is 11 kilometers from here. I'm going to have you go there. And then in English, no wait, then I can't read it. Japanese then. Use a pen and paper from the TV station. What? Good evening. This is News X Tonight's leading story. The power to remotely kill people as used by Kira is being put up for auction. If you want to buy it, use the hashtag PowerOfKira on Twitter and indicate your bid amount in American dollars. What? What is that? Putting the power of Kira up for auction. What is this? Is this an on-air screw-up? Does that mean the Kira? Sakura TV again figures. What is that cue card doing? We apologize for this. Just a moment, folks. Don't touch it. Explain the situation. This paper is floating unsupported. It's referring to Kira's power to kill people from a distance. We assure you Sakura TV has nothing to do with this. We take no responsibility for the content of the message you're seeing on the screen. Deputy Commissioner, Ryuk is trying to sell the Death Note. You mean someone who got it from Ryuk? Right, that's what I meant. I just hope it's just a joke. It's been about 30 seconds now. That thing about selling Kira's power isn't real, right? That's in poor taste for the evening news, even for Sakura TV. Hey, check it out. It hasn't even been a day and people are bidding $3 million online. 3? That's over 300 million yen. Some people think this is real. That's crazy. If it's really Kira's power, millions of dollars is a cheap price. You could control the whole world. Oh, there's some news about Kira coming out of Japan right now. What's this? It's a replica of a Shinigami. I'm trying to create a facial recognition system for Shinigami, though I'm sure the barriers are very high. I thought only people who have touched the notebook could see Shinigami. Which is why I said the barriers are high. Let's call whoever's putting the murder notebook up for auction Akira. So it's true then. Yes, I could see the Shinigami. Sending the Shinigami to the TV station, not actually using the internet. Akira is very cautious. Following the Shinigami will be the way to find Akira. What we want is security footage of Akira, and then the Shinigami together. Especially if the murderer notebook is being handed over. However, it's essentially impossible to find that footage from all the cameras in Japan, only using help of people who could see Shinigami. All the cameras in Japan? So you think Kira is in Japan? Based on the past Kira incident, we could surmise that a Shinigami can't be far from the owner of the notebook. I think we could assume that they're both in Japan for now. I'll arrange a ticket to Japan at once. We have to catch this guy. Catch? Assuming we even find Akira, are you certain you can charge them with a crime? In the past, I called the notebook the worst murder weapon in human history, but weapons of mass murder are traded around the world every day. I would assume that killing someone with the notebook is a crime, but it doesn't seem like selling one would be. But that notebook is... If you want to seize the notebook, I would recommend finding the person who won it once the auction is over. Then why are you trying to track down Akira, El? Akira is extremely smart. I have a personal interest in this. I would like to meet them. If you wish to help, please get in touch with Mr. Aizawa to have yesterday's interior security camera footage from Sakura TV sent over. Got it. Good to speak to you again for the first time since the old SPK days, Mr. Rester. We've just finished checking out the camera footage from Sakura TV and surrounding area. What did the Shinigami do? Well, after throwing away the sheet of paper with one message on it, it passed through the bottom of the second floor studio, then the first floor, then the basement parking lot. What's the matter? The Shinigami passed underground and did not show up on Sakura TV's security footage after that. Let's not make this after all. Even if I could make a Shinigami recognition system, it'd be pointless. If Shinigami is traveling between the station and Akira underground, then there's nothing we can do about it. If the Shinigami appears on any camera footage aside from TV studio, there will be when he's handing over the murder notebook to the buyer. But at that moment, Akira will have parted ways with the notebook, and we could presume that any memory of this will be gone. It's a very well calculated plan. So you're saying there's almost no chance we can catch them? If we want to catch them as Akira, it must be at the moment between getting the money and letting go of the notebook. I think it would be easier to figure out by detecting whoever gets the money after the auction is complete. But I feel like that would be admitting defeat in a way. And in fact, I can't help but feel like this was planned thoroughly, enough that it would be impossible to detect the money changing hands. Well, ultimately, we only really need to track down whoever wins the notebook. Let's sit back and watch for now. Seems like it's going well. Yeah, it's nearly up to 10 billion now. I'm trying not to pay too much attention to it. It's going so well, it's kind of scary. When does the bending end, anyway? And will I stop getting apples? I didn't decide on a deadline. and I can keep giving you apples for a bit after I get the money. Only for a bit! 1 week left until the end of the auction. It may end prematurely as well. You will be informed if that happens. This transaction will be final. No complaints, no returns. Here we go. We got the numbers. Drag this message out for 30 seconds. Minutes. It's even on the same pen and paper from the station before. He said to hold it for 30 seconds. I'll read it out now. 1 week left until the end of the auction. Hey, stop. We're live. Police, don't even think about trying to buy Akira's power. Hey, it's been a while. Stupid Matsuda, your orders were to follow the Shinigami as far as you can if it shows up. Hey, aren't you the guy from a few years ago who appeared on our show and claimed to know who Kira was? That's right, and the power of Kira is a terrifying thing indeed. Well, at last he seems to be keeping himself busy, in a manner of speaking. All he's done is make it seem even more believable. What did you think you were doing? It's true, I swear. It's like a voodoo doll that curses people to death, if you have their picture and name. By Matsuda's standards, that's a good explanation. Even if it's true, there's absolutely no way that the Japanese government could purchase something like that. At any rate, Matsuda, you are now on desk duty for the time being to keep you away from the media. Now, after Toda Matsuda went on TV yesterday, it's up to $200 billion. That's over 20 trillion yen. That's not personal money anymore. Even the richest man in the world only has 130 billion, I think. Which means it's a group, or in case probably a nation. Some government's having a proxy bid for him. If they win the auction, they become an internationally dominant power. I'd say that's worth 100 trillion yen. I see no kidding. Whoa, 280 billion? That account looks Chinese. Dang. It just went to $300 billion now. Seriously? It's just a race between these two people now. I wish you could ignore all the stupid tweets from people who aren't bidding. Well, I figured it would get to the point of being a national competition. Don't bother with Twitter. Put government reps into the media and make official announcement of how much you will pay to buy it. Now this is getting interesting. Mr. President, in 2005, the FBI director and a boy named Near testified to the president that Kira's power was a notebook that would kill a person if you wrote their name in it. If true, we cannot allow any other nation to get their hands on it. The United States will buy the power of Kira for $500 billion. The People's Republic of China will buy Kira's power for $1 trillion and promises to use it for peaceful ends. $1 trillion? At 100 yen per dollar? That's 100 trillion yen. Is he serious? We'll buy it for 2 trillion and never use it for world peace. There it is. Any world leader bidding must name a price only. No other nonsense. This is getting pretty incredible. Mr. Prime Minister, is it possible to hold a summit of world leaders to ensure no country buys it? Let's not kid ourselves with idealistic statements. We all know some government is going to end up with it, and whatever country says don't buy it will be the first to turn around and try. We've passed the quadrillion yen mark. A quadrillion yen equals Japan's national debt, right? Maybe we could get Kira to pay off the whole thing. But then the Japanese government would likely return the money to whoever wins it, especially if it's the Americans. Oh yeah, there's the whole U.S.-Japan security relationship, especially if the They get Kira's power. Plus, Japan is the most indebted nation in the world, but it also holds the most assets. Do you mean it? I don't get it. Just Google it yourself. Well, if the seller is Japanese and they pay tax on income, that alone would really grease the national gears. Good point. Yeah, right. They're not gonna pay that. Ryuk, I'm ending the auction tomorrow. Oh. Once I've confirmed the money is in, I'm discarding ownership of the notebook. I need you to deliver it to the buyer. Yeah, I know. I was hoping to get some more apples to eat, but I'm curious about this whole thing, too. But how does Akira expect to actually receive a quadrillion yen? It's impossible to pay or receive that amount in bills. It'll have to be an online transaction. Online banking? To an individual bank account? Wouldn't that identify Akira? Yes, it would. Even with an anonymous account attempting to withdraw, it would leave a trail. Well, Akira? How do you intend to get that money? I know the notebook can manipulate a person's actions for 23 days, but they won't manipulate people who receive the money. If money was the point, there was no need to hold this auction. There are a million ways to control others' actions to gain money. They didn't do that because they don't want to kill others to get money. Assuming Akira doesn't want to commit murder, there was no point of possessing the murder notebook. The answer, a very thoroughly planned auction. All of the lines point up. Given how cautious Akira has been, I can't imagine just testing to see how much Akira's power would go for. No, Akira is serious about this. If you don't want the notebook, then you think of how best to dispose of it. So I can only assume that there is an equally careful plan for how to receive the money. Harmonia, Justin, why are you here? The Shinigami King is calling. You have to go back as soon as you're able to leave the side of your human. Why? Don't ask me. I'm just the messenger. Kira's power has been sold to the United States of America for American dollars. The method of transferring this amount will be revealed in 24 hours. To the Americans? Yes, unfortunately. The Americans will have the death note. There was nothing we could do. It only makes sense. Japan would prefer America over China. Following our plan would mean trying to seize the notebook from our own government. If you're going to do it on your own, please. On your own. Why do you say that? Because I live in America now. You got mean, Al. Well, even the original Al was like that. When the entire world knows about it, that makes it much harder to just outright use the notebook. Besides, isn't the more pressing issue at the moment how Akira would handle this transaction? Good point. This could be our final chance to get the notebook and Akira. Do you understand what it means that the money's being handed over tomorrow? 24 hours would be 6 p.m. on Friday, May 24th in Japan time. They probably thought that 3 days would be enough for the panic to subside. Oh, the banks they close at 3 on Friday and don't open over the weekend. But they want the money deposited in a Japan bank. It's like they're asking to get caught. It's 1 quadrillion Japanese yen. The lifetime earning potential of the average Japanese is 300 million at best. If Akira's been planning this out from the start, they're actually phenomenally smart. The money for the winning bid should be should be deposited by May 27th of this year, and equal amounts to every person within Yotsuba Bank of Japan savings account and registered residents in Tokyo age 60 and under as the date of May 24th, 2019. The money from the winning bid will be deposited May 27th is equal amounts to every person with bank account, savings account, figure resident in Tokyo age under 24. It's being split up? How many thousands of people have those accounts? And why are they 60 and under? Even if it was 1 million people, splitting a quadrillion yen between them means 1 billion yen per person? Minoru, you have a savings account with Yotsuba Bank, don't you? Huh? Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is unbelievable. What's just happened? We're filthy rich now. Hooray for Kira. Kira's our god. Long live Kira. Open up. I need an open account right now. Give me my 1 billion yen. It said 60 and under, so I just barely qualify. Open your doors, Yotsuba. The 60 and under detail is an intriguing one, of course. I did assume that Akira was a young person. Limiting the age does increase Akira's share, but it also narrows down the possible targets. Even still, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people with those accounts. And once 3 days have passed, even Akira will not remember ever being Akira. It's basically impossible for us to find Akira at this point. For the first time since becoming L, I must admit defeat. A payment to Yotsuba Bank of $10 trillion has been made from America, and now customers are storming the bank branches. The money's there! Whoa! All hail Kira, god of Japan! To avoid chaos, Yotsuba Bank is presently foregoing the usual teller service. Open up! Let me in! Let me open an account! Don't pull on me. Existing customers have priority. The bank announced that customers will only be able to withdraw their savings amount prior to the 24th at this time, up to the total of 100,000 yen per day. More details can be found on the Yotsuba Bank website. So I won't be able to access it for like a month. But they did pay up. Go ahead and take the notebook to the President of the United States. Okay. Is that everything, then? Yep. We're all done, thanks. Once I've discarded possession of the notebook, don't ever show up around me again for any reason. I'm going to forget all of this and live a happy life. I don't want anything to do with this dangerous thing. Man, I didn't realize you hated me so much. You managed to use a death note without even writing in it. That was a fun time, Minoru. I'm giving it up now. Sure thing. I actually got yelled at by the Shinigami King before I came in here. He said, how could you let him sell the death note in the human world? So there's been a new rule added. A human who buys or sells a death note in the human world will die. The seller will die when they receive the money, and the buyer will die when they receive the death note. What? That's crazy. Yeah, I know. It's a brand new rule. So you paid all that money just to die. But if you refuse to take the notebook, I'll treat it as if you didn't buy it. Really? But at this point, you aren't getting any of your money back. Now if you take the notebook, you'll die. But it will remain here. So someone high and mighty in this country will get it, right? You'll die, but it'll belong to your nation. So what's the plan? I'm not taking it. Got it. You value your own life over your country. But I'm going to announce that I've gained the power of Kira anyway. I've got it, but I refuse to use it. It'll make me look like a saint. Very shrewd, Mr. President. So what do I do now? Minoru doesn't know about his new rule. You have to keep your word, whether human or death god. Don't ever show up around me again for any reason. Yeah, he did say that. 1 month later, Japan's economy was booming, especially around the capital. They called it Reiwa Bubble or Kita Bubble. I bought an apartment, a house, and 3 cars, all in cash. Cheers! A toast to Kira, a god among men. Huh? Are you alright? Call an ambulance! What a shame. His plan was perfect. I guess it doesn't matter how you do it. Any human who uses the Death Note meets an unfortunate end. Isn't there anyone who will use this thing for a bit longer than that?